when you do go to ask a question, I would just ask that you have a couple of choices. You can either unmute and come ask the question, or you can put it in the chat, either way. And we're gonna give away some prizes at the end. So for those of you who are here live, I thought it'd be a little fun as we're coming into the holidays. It's always fun for me. I get to give away stuff, so that's incredible. And I wanna begin with this. There was a study that I read with Business Insider today, and the number of women leaving the workforce because of COVID is 4 to 1. 4 to 1. So in August, 850,000 women left the workforce in the United States as compared to 200,000 men. And so it doesn't matter to me, you're a man, you're a woman. I want you to write that down. And if you go on my LinkedIn page, I shared that article today. I shared it on my Twitter as well. And I want you to write that down, because in all adversity, there is opportunity. And so I want to share the opportunities for all of you, regardless of the business you're in. Number one, these people leaving the workforce, some of them are leaving it by choice because they want to be at home with kids. They're trying to navigate homeschooling kids, and they just can't do it. They can't be at home with kids and be at a job. And so they're making the decision to opt out of the workforce. So they're going to be looking for opportunities. They're going to be looking for businesses they can do from home. That's one. Number two, these people who are leaving the workforce, don't assume that they don't have money. There are some of them who have the opportunity to have a partner that is working, and so they are sitting there and they could be looking for your product or service. So thinking about that. The third thing is, these people leaving the workforce, they have pain points. And the best marketers in the world are able to speak directly to their avatar's pain. And they speak to their pain. They speak to their pain through video. They speak to their pain through their Instagram stories, through polls, through how they post. If you're using LinkedIn, to the articles you write, the blogs you write, all of your content is very much focused on a certain avatar group. So I always like to, when we do live coaching, which is so fun for me, it's my opportunity to serve. My question is, and I want to throw the table back to you, with these massive numbers of people leaving the workforce who are at home, do you see an opportunity for you to market your product or service to this group? Is there an opportunity for you? Just say yes in the chat. Yes. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. So the first gift that I want to give you is a challenge today. So who could commit to making a video today on your social media where you're really speaking to someone's pain point right now, or do a post, or maybe share the article, right? Who could do that? Yes. Margie's like, I can do it. Tia can do it. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, absolutely, right? So thinking very deeply about that, and knowing that there are a lot of people right now who are looking for solutions. I personally believe we are in the greatest economic shakeup that will ever have happened in modern history. Last year, McKinsey came out with a report that said that 800 million jobs were going to be displaced by artificial intelligence and machine learning by 2030. And the reality is, because of COVID, that number is compressed. And there are lots of companies out there who are saying, you know what, we furloughed a bunch of workers and we're figuring out ways to use technology, and we're not bringing them all back. So the person who was the flight attendant, or the person who worked in the hospitality industry, or worked in a factory, or worked in an office even, they might not be coming back. And so there are people out there right now looking for new skills. They're looking for new opportunities. They're looking for ways to make money. They're looking for your services as consultants and coaches and all of you, like everything you all have, they're looking for it. And the thing I would say to all of you, it's definitely the time to hustle. During the last recession, and I just, well, you know, I just want to share, I always want to start with something positive to light your soul on fire. During the last recession, during a time of incredible challenge, here are some companies that were started. Uber, Instagram, right? Think about it. So there are multi-billion-dollar companies that were started 10 years ago during the Great Recession that are now household names. And one of you, some of you, all of you could be starting businesses or scaling businesses now that become those next household names. And I want you to think about that. Is that cool? Yes. So with that, I want to get into the first question. Who would like to jump out and ask a question? And remember, we do not ever use company names, ever. We don't say a name of a company, but other than that, there are no rules. Someone has messaged a question. I'm going to start with that person. My question is, what is each social media platform best used for? For example, LinkedIn is business focused. This is my favorite question. Are you guys ready to have social media 101? Are you guys ready? Okay, I'm going to go through all the platforms, and I also see that my beautiful daughter Avery is here. She is a social media expert. I'm going to go through the demographics of all the platforms. We'll start with that, okay? Get your pen out, everyone. Here we go. We're going to start with LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is, generally speaking, a platform where there are 96% of decision makers at any company are on LinkedIn. They're middle managers, they're C-suite managers, business executives. It is a business platform, but LinkedIn is doing the following three things that are making it more user-friendly. So write these down. LinkedIn has added stories. So Susan is someone who is a consultant. She's a professional. LinkedIn, she would find her ideal clients on LinkedIn. She could be using stories to really share some of her client success, be talking about her business. LinkedIn also added lives. So you see people like Allie Brown is doing a live, Les Brown is doing lives, and they're choosing LinkedIn as their primary live platform, not Facebook, not Instagram, but they're choosing LinkedIn to do that. So LinkedIn is a great place for you to market your product and services, but the way you market on LinkedIn is different. So when you're marketing on LinkedIn, keep in mind that you do want to be professional. People don't tend to share as many personal things like they do on Facebook. It is more focused on business. So you'd post the following three things. Number one, establishing your credibility. It could be a blog article. It could be a video. It could be a LinkedIn article. It could be a live where you answer questions, do interviews. My friend Joe Soto is doing lives on there as well. Number two, on LinkedIn, you want to be deploying daily content Monday through Friday. And again, that's really around your niche, your credibility. And the third thing with LinkedIn is don't hesitate to be direct messaging people, but you don't want to get married on the first date, right? Find someone that you want to engage in. I might say, Flaviana, oh my gosh, I looked at your profile. LinkedIn suggested we connect. Love what you're doing. I'd love to hear more. Especially if you have a product or service that you're marketing that might be over $500, $1,000, start with that warm up. I get sold a lot on LinkedIn and I always just delete all those messages. But what I'm looking for is that person who took that time to look at my profile. The next platform would be Instagram. Instagram is not just for a certain age demographic. We have more people on Instagram now who are 60 plus. We still have people who are under 18 on Instagram. Instagram is a wonderful platform for business to consumer. And in fact, on Instagram, video ads have a significantly higher conversion than a photo ad. So Instagram, we're currently running a mastermind. It's for anyone who had a ticket to our UME event. And we're spending a whole month focusing on Instagram. It's quite amazing. Facebook is really that platform where you're sharing personal things about your life. Facebook for business, though, is outstanding because you have Facebook reviews. Facebook is working to be able to get their own cryptocurrency out there because they want to keep people on the platform. They're also currently working on some technology where you can have a Facebook store and people can literally pay for your product and service right on Facebook. One of the wealthiest companies in the world, don't forget, it owns Instagram, it owns WhatsApp. So very much about wanting you to spend your advertising dollars there. TikTok is the new darling of the social media set. That's where you're posting short videos. You want to be in a place where you're focused very much on a very specific thing that you do. We're seeing a lot more businesses on TikTok. Disney is on TikTok. It's very much a business to consumer platform. And so that's a little bit of an overview of all the key platforms. And my bottom line message to you is there are a couple things I would suggest. LinkedIn, Marcus Murphy, I did an interview with him. He is a global LinkedIn expert. In fact, LinkedIn hires him. I did an interview with Marcus. We go through LinkedIn basics. It's on my YouTube channel, so I will post a link to that interview. We also have interviews there with oh my gosh, there's so many different people. There are specialists with Instagram, with Facebook. Dennis Yu is on there. He's a global Facebook expert. So I have a whole library on YouTube that can help you with all of these things. It's a great question. Thanks, Amy. All right, we have our next question. I am a parent licensing analyst by profession. That's cool. I am a coach, speaker, and author for expat spouses. I have a lot of professional contacts on LinkedIn from my profession. How do I manage and still establish my credibility and keep both of them separate? That's a great question. So I'm in a very similar position. So as a co-CEO of a tech company, I have a lot of people from very large multi-billion-dollar companies who follow me on LinkedIn. The content I'm posting on LinkedIn is very much speaking to the tech industry. I'm very passionate about women founders. I will post articles about women founders, women CEOs, that kind of thing there. A great way to establish credibility and branch out on LinkedIn is to become a LinkedIn mentor. As a LinkedIn mentor, you offer a free service where you answer questions and you just go into your profile, turn mentorship on, and people can begin to ask you questions. So even posting and saying something like, I'm so passionate about helping expat spouses. It's a passion of mine. And, I'd love to answer your questions. I'm a mentor, or if you post a question, I'll make a video for you. So one of the things I do, Malika, with regard to having three different companies that I oversee and looking at the different things I do and how I show up on each platform, is asking myself this: how do all of my businesses relate to one another? And can I do something where I'm still brand aligned and I'm serving people, but I'm not looking like I'm all over the map? So hopefully that helps. All right. Okay, next question. All right, how do you stay consistent and productive with being a new mom, Flaviana asks, and run my online business? One, you have to be highly organized. This is number one. There is a time for everyone, and everyone has a time. So I have 5 kids. And I've built my businesses while giving birth to babies, while I negotiated the startup money for one of my companies while I was in labor with my daughter Avery, who's here. So I was literally in labor negotiating with someone to get the last part of my startup capital in between contractions. Flaviana, you can do it. So number one, you have to be highly organized. I start my day at 3:50 in the morning. It's my quiet time. I get up, I pray, I meditate, I get intentional. I take a look at my schedule. Anything that's out of alignment with my goals and dreams, I get rid of it. I cancel meetings. I do whatever I need to do. Then I go and work while the kids are asleep. So generally speaking, from 5 to 6, I am working, I'm creating content, I'm writing blogs, I'm responding to emails, I'm doing all of that stuff. Then it's time to kind of get the kids out the door, get my workout in, get my head on straight, and then I start working. So my advice to moms is always this, and parents in general, is take a look at what it is that your goals are in your business. And then the next thing is chunk your working times into, if you're a new mom, when the baby is sleeping. And then you also have to get your rest. And the third thing I'll say to you, you should never feel guilty about maybe bringing someone in to help. It could even be a student a few times a week, just so you can get, the things done that you want to get done as well. And the last thing I'm going to say is never apologize for your ambition, and never apologize for having your baby in the background.
I'd like to jump out, because this is something I remember distinctly as well. Like, obviously I'm not a mom, but I've grown up seeing my mom work. And I remember when my brother was just a baby, her office was actually in his room in our house. So he would be asleep in the background. We had like the massive big computer, and it'd be like whirring and making all this sound, and he'd be asleep, and she'd be doing the calls. And sometimes she'd be doing calls like quietly because he was sleeping in the background. But as hard as it is to be a mom and run a business at the same time, my mom is definitely testament that you can do it, and you can do it well.
Thanks, Avery. And yes, that explains your ambition too. I love it. Who has another question? We have our resident social media specialist here, Avery. She's happy to answer questions. This is your time to serve. Jessica has a very specific question for Avery. So Avery, you are up.
Oh, Avery, you can just read it in the chat. But my question was just, when making a TikTok video and having a voiceover and music, I'm finding that the music is too loud and it's covering the voiceover. So I was trying to do it, and I just put it into Wondershare, but it took like an hour versus like 2 minutes to make a video. And I was like, I can't spend an hour making a TikTok video, but I can spend 2 minutes making a video. So is there like an easy workaround, or do you think we should just, and how important is it to have music? Is it just worth deploying it? When I deploy without the music, I didn't get the same results as I did with the music, but then it's just, my question.
Yeah. I'm sorry if I spoke over you a bit, by the way. My AirPods died and I was taking them out, and then my computer and everything was glitching there, so I lost the beginning, but I got the question. So I don't personally do voiceovers often on TikTok, but I know that there is a functionality that allows you to adjust the volume of the original sound and the added sound. Generally, I like to add music in the background of my videos. I did one recently where I was revving a car and I still put music in the background. If you go into, let me go into TikTok here for a moment. So
Avery, the issue I was having is that it considers the voiceover and music both added sound. So when you adjust one, it adjusts them both together. And so that was the issue I was having. And I mean, and you can use, my workaround was to do it in Wondershare and just put the voiceover in Wondershare, but then it just takes, and then, because then the voiceover is part of the original, but then it's just so time consuming to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I would do, I still really like InShot because that's my favorite one to do that in. And then when you have your recorded video, you can add the voiceover in InShot, and then it will count as the original sound instead of added sound. Otherwise, I wouldn't worry too much about adding the music. It's not the end of the world. You may notice that you get more traction if there is added music. And sometimes things will still blow up even if there's no music underneath it. But unfortunately,
In TikTok, I don't think there's a workaround yet, not that I've found.
In InShot, can you do a voiceover, record it there, or do you have to record it on a separate tool and import it?
I'm pretty confident you can do it in InShot. I've done it before in iMovie. Let me even just test it.
That
right
would
now.
solve my issue, because my issue with Wondershare is I had to record like all of the voiceover as like 5, or in this case it was like 10 different files, and import 10 different files into it. And it was like way
so if you go into InShot, I just have this video that I posted on one of my accounts earlier. If you go into InShot and you click the music button, there's an option there to record. I've never personally used it, but that sounds like you can do a voice sometime in there as well.
InShot is an app too. I've been using it on desktop, but I didn't know it was a iPhone.
Yeah, I have the mobile app, and guys, if you are looking for an easy to use mobile video editing app, I definitely recommend InShot. It's one of my favorites. And you don't have to pay for anything. I just paid personally to get rid of the watermark, which was 99 cents. But that's the only thing I recommend you actually paying for. So, yeah.
And it's just great questions. I love the technical questions. We have about 4 questions in the queue. I use the InShot just on my phone, so it's which is great. I want to run through some of these. So Cindy asks, what is the best day and time to launch a new brand on social media? So let's break this down. So whether you're launching or newly launching a brand, there are some things to consider. One is there an event you can attach your brand release to? So I'll give you an example. One of my friends is launching a amazing product, and it is a ultra low sugar wine spritzer. And it's beautiful, and it's really targeted toward women, though I'm sure guys will like it too. The products are amazing. The packaging, everything is like incredible. So we were chatting, and I suggested to her that she launches on Galentine's Day. So having that launch around Galentine's is a great way to create some social media content that you can deploy that's attached to that. So that being said, if you're ready to launch your brand and there isn't anything really that you can kind of, sort of align with that makes sense, then it's always good to do a teaser and do at least a 3-week run up to the actual launch. And so some great ways to do teasers, go ahead and write these down. So one would be to do audience engagement. This is going to grow your followers. So little organic videos. Hey guys, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm launching a new business. I'm launching a new brand. It's a few weeks away. And before I launch, I just want to do a poll, and you might engage your followers about color scheme. You might engage your followers about packaging. You might engage your followers about asking them questions about what they, how they might see this particular product or service that you're going to be launching. The next thing around that is when you're doing your launch, so now you're doing this run up, the next thing I want you to write down is collaboration. Can you get some people to collaborate with you? And so in order to support your launch, so let's say as an example, you were launching something in time for the holidays. I'll just give, an example. Let's say you were doing ugly Christmas sweaters and they were, just amazing. So I might say to Melissa, hey girlfriend, I'm launching these ugly Christmas sweaters. If I send you one, would you give me a shout out on social media? Then I'm saying, Jess, hey, I'm launching these ugly Christmas sweaters. Would you wear one and give a shout out on social media? So what you do in these collaborations is you have your friends, your people you connect with, they're deploying on their social media all around that same day with regard to your launch. The next thing I'm going to say about launching the brand, and I cannot emphasize collaborators enough, is you may, depending on how you're structured, you may want to do affiliates. So when you're doing affiliates, that means that essentially whoever in your network is deploying your product or service, they might be getting a kickback of something financially, a percentage of it. And affiliate marketing can be incredible. Just always make sure you pay your affiliates, because the industry statistic is close to 75% of affiliates never get paid. And so there are great products out there. I know Jessica uses ThriveCart. ThriveCart is amazing because it automatically will pay your affiliates. And it's just a great way to rapidly get your new product or service out there into the market. I know, Avery, you wanted to jump in.
Yes, I do. Okay, so I honestly love the idea of launching new brands on social media. I think social media really provides a lot of opportunity. I really like what my mom said. I just wanted to add a couple things. In our mastermind, I know some of you were there, I emphasized doing a little bit of market research. So whatever it is that your business is about, go on TikTok, go on Instagram, go on the social media platforms that you're hoping to launch on, and find out whether it's in your niche or others with a similar product or others that you even look up to. Find out what they're doing, how they're posting about it. You will find a lot of inspiration. As great as it is to be original, you don't have to spend so much time thinking of how can I do this differently. If you see someone that's doing what you're doing and it's working for them, see how you can apply that in your own situation. Another one, not just affiliates, but working, I don't know what the business is, but working with influencers. And just like how my mom said, affiliates, influencers, or other people in your space, whether it's your friends, whether it's your family, whoever it is, you want to launch that word of mouth campaign at the same time. So word of mouth is the most powerful marketing tool, and it really does work through Instagram as well, because you'll see influencers wearing their shirt. I don't know, Fashion Nova does more influencer branding than I think any other company that I've seen. But they'll be like, oh, I'm wearing like Fashion Nova, check it out, I love this shirt, whatever. So having people that will be a voice of advocacy for your brand is very important. And that's another great way that you can get the launch, but also get the ball rolling immediately. If you have a simultaneous launch where, you know, your close friends, your family, they're like, hey, check out this business that my friend or my family started. For example, I've been looking for some blue light blocker glasses, and I have a friend who posted on his Instagram story yesterday saying, oh, my friend just started this company. And immediately that does blue light blocking glasses. So immediately I went and checked his friend out, because I was like, I have a mutual friend with this person, and now they have a little bit of credibility. So you can take advantage of your network, those that are close of you, those that know you, like you, and trust you. They will be a great voice and a great advocate for your brand. So just having them also help to deploy the message, and in addition to what my mom said, but having them share that for you, or working with some influencers in the space if you're comfortable with doing that.
Great, Avery, thank you. And we have several questions. One of the questions that's come up, you know, what approach for attracting new customers has been the most effective for you? And the answer to that, Meryl, is really, it depends on which business you're talking about that I run. So I'll just go through all three. So in our tech company, our client avatar are multi-billion-dollar companies. And so with our technology, those are not just simple, you know, reaching out, I want to get to the decision maker at, you know, a certain company. So how those leads come to me are through the following. One, the number one way is referrals. So our biggest client that we have is a multi-billion-dollar retailer. And so I said to a friend of mine and several friends, who do you know who's in a decision-making position in this particular sector? And so they introduced us, and that's how we ended up getting that client. Another client that we have for that particular company is a multi-billion-dollar hospital. And again, that came through one of our executive team, and then just someone through he knew. So regardless of the business you're in, referrals are always going to be the number one way you generate new customers. In my two other companies that I oversee, it's, you know, it really comes down to being extremely deliberate. The cold market, you are always going to spend more, whether you're doing leads, advertising, whatever it is that you're doing. But the warm market, really reaching out to people, asking for referrals is the way to go, regardless of the business that you're in. The thing I want to emphasize to all of you is you're probably not spending enough time on lead generation. If your business isn't making at least $1 million a year, you're not spending enough time on lead generation. You're just not. You need to have more leads than you have time. And so how do you get more leads than you have time? Number one, write this down, you dedicate time to it. For those of you who are fortunate enough to work with me for 6 weeks and organize your life, I will help you get so organized because I teach you how to be organized at the level of someone who makes over $1 million a year and you have to think like that. Right? So you have to be organized enough. You have to be generating leads every single day. And then the third thing is having the mindset around it, the abundant mindset that there are plenty of people out there who are looking for what you have if you're willing to do the work. So let's talk very quickly. There are organic leads. Those come from referrals. Those are leads you don't pay for. Those are people who are engaging with you on your social media platforms. And then there are paid leads. Those would be a variety of ways that you can generate those, whether you're running paid ads on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, for example. You might do some old school lead generation, but you should always have in your budget how much you are going to spend on lead generation. And that's the bottom line. And I can't emphasize that enough. I see a lot of people who are like, oh, my business isn't working. And I'll say to them, how many leads do you have? And they say stupid stuff like, oh, no one I know wants to do this. Well, then you shouldn't be in business. Go get a job. I know some of you are like, Susan, that's so mean. I'm like the Dave Ramsey of entrepreneurship. Like, I have to tell it to you like it is. If you're not willing to hustle and you're not willing to do the work, there are some of you that I know. Susan Cumming is one. If she had nothing and she was on the corner of Bay Street and
King and Bay, my home.
She was on the corner of King and Bay and had nothing. 24 hours later, she'd have a roof over her head and she'd probably have 3 job interviews because that's who she is. She's a badass. And when I invest in companies, I invest in people. I look for people who have a track record of not only success, but of comebacks. I look for their conscious competencies. So, guys, how much time are you spending right now on lead generation? That's the question. I need to know, right? That's what I need to know. So the next questions, all right, that are coming up. So someone asked about a book on mindset. So the new norm of doing business. What book would you recommend for personal development? Right now, I would say Jay Shetty's book, Think Like a Monk, is probably one of the best books I've read in recent history. Jay Shetty is wildly successful. He was in the finance industry. It's not a book by someone who hasn't achieved. He actually left finance and went to India and became a monk for 3 years. And he has a, top 5 podcast. He's a New York Times bestselling author. It's an exceptional book. Jay Shetty, Think Like a Monk. All right, awesome. Okay. Next. All right, we have a question. What is the best way to approach people on LinkedIn about network marketing? So here's the thing. Bottom line, people have perceptions. This is a hot topic. I had a conversation with a startup founder yesterday. He's like, HATE network marketing. And I'm like, okay, right? That's fine. People have their perceptions. So you don't just get married on the first date, as I said, and you're not just DMing people, going, I have this opportunity. Lead generation is like dating. So when you find someone that you really like, you don't, be that weird stalker person, right? You get to know them. It's that warm-up period. So the following 3 steps. Number 1, take a look at their profile and find something you can compliment them on. Number 2, you message them, and this could apply to any business, and you compliment them on something. I read the article you posted. I read your LinkedIn you know, the LinkedIn article that you shared, I watched your video, whatever it is. You know, and then the next thing is I'd really like to connect and find out more about your business. That's the first thing, and warm them up. That's exactly, Angel. Cappy. You find common ground, you affirm them, then you get permission before you give them information. So then once they start to talk, they're going to ask you about your business, and that's your opportunity to use your elevator pitch. So thinking about the platform you're on, LinkedIn, I help executives or whatever that person is, I help them get some life balance. I help them, you know, get healthy. I help them, whatever. Don't just go in there with multiple streams of income, because once you start assuming you know the needs of the person, it actually tells you know nothing about the person. The person will reveal themselves like a flower opening up about what their needs and pain points are. So that's how you do it. Okay. All right. There's another question. Oh my gosh. OYL starts on Tuesday, Tia. And we're in the final days to get the class for $197. And I'm such a believer in this work that if you don't make the $197 back during the 6 weeks or find $197, I'll refund your money. And ask me how many times I've ever had to do that in the thousands of people I've taught. 0. So we work intimately for 6 weeks, and it is amazing. You will get so organized. Jessica can tell you she's taken it every single time, right? Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that.
I'd like to jump out to about 2 things. So actually earlier on, Angel asked a question that I really like getting this question. So her question was, how important is it to log what kinds of posts you're doing and how much traction it's getting for personal reasons? Well, let me tell you. Knowing your, Susan's laughing, knowing your engagement and knowing the content that you're putting out there on Instagram and on social media is absolutely critical. You do necessarily need to write down how much likes you get on every post. No, if you want to do that, that's fine. One of the clients I work with, they have me fill out a spreadsheet of all of our Instagram engagement and stuff. If you want to do that, power to you. But you do need to have a sense of awareness regarding your social media profiles. And this is why this is important. You need to know what content you have that is performing the best, because this is going to help you create an engaged audience that turns to you as a sense of authority on the subject that you want to be authoritative on, or turns to you to find content that, or they recognize you as a source of the content they're looking for, but also they followed you because they are expecting a certain type of content from you. Like, you follow my mom because you're expecting her type of content, like entrepreneur and being a mom and, you know, everything that she does. That's why you followed her. So her content caters to that need. Now, to understand this, it does, again, take some trial and error. I say this all the time because, you know, you may get frustrated because you may be like posting something and it's not getting that much engagement, and then all of a sudden you share something that you haven't really shared before and it shoots up and the engagement is crazy. If you find something that works that's within your space, roll with it. And the way to do that is, again, by keeping track of how much traction this is getting. You don't need to check it every 5 minutes, but you will know what is performing the best on your social media if you just take a look at it every now and then. So this will help you learn what your audience wants. Again, I tell you guys this every time, and I'm telling you this again with love. Check your Instagram analytics. If you're in our mastermind, then we're going to be diving really deep in this. If you've ever taken a course with me, if you do live coaching with me, I teach you guys how to do this. But Instagram analytics is so crucial, guys. Instagram gave you a gift. If you have a business or creator profile, you can see all of the analytics on your page. If you don't want to go through every one of your posts and say, okay, 150, 120, 130 likes, you can go to analytics and it'll tell you which one's got the most likes. It'll tell you, if you have your phone number on your page, it will tell you which post the people called you from, like the most. Like if you were a business, like for example, Barbara sells delicious chocolates and sweets, and she has her phone number so people can place orders. If she posts a photo of some of her sweet treats, she can then go to her analytics and see how many people called her to potentially place an order from each picture. You can do emails. This is so important for lead generation and KPIs and everything like that. If your goal is just to have people listen to your podcast and you put the podcast link in your Instagram bio, analytics will show you how many people clicked that link and from which post they came to then go to that link. So you don't have to monitor it yourself. Instagram does it for you with analytics, and that will beautifully show you all there. They have graphs, they have a bunch of stuff. They'll tell you when your followers are most active. That goes back to our previous question about when should I launch my business. Go and look at your analytics, see when your followers are most active. You want to cater to that time when you know that they're looking at their phones and they're going to be looking at your profile. And then I just have one more thing to hop out and say, because I know regarding the question about LinkedIn, I learned something recently that I'm fired up to share with you guys about Facebook. Nobody asked, but I'm making it so you don't have to. I'm just going to give it to y'all for free. So in terms of Facebook, guys, if you are generating leads or communicating with people in your business, whether it's network marketing or whatever it is, use Facebook as a tool. Share the wins that you've experienced in your business. When you're traveling again, you can be like, oh, look at this beautiful trip to Hawaii I'm taking that just paid for itself. Oh, and by the way, I'm getting residual income while I'm on this trip. Like I'm going to be tanning on the beach, drinking my Mai Tai, having money come in the bank. And people will be like, wow, what is it that she's doing? Another tip, guys, and I learned this in a course I'm taking. This is fantastic. You can create lists on Facebook and post only to that list. If you have created leads, add your leads on Facebook, okay? Put them in this list and then share your business wins to that list. Like you go, like you're posting on your feed and then you just choose who you're sharing it to. They don't know that they're on the list. They'll just see it like a normal thing that anyone would see. But then, maybe your family members or your grandparents or your mom and dad, they won't necessarily see this post unless of course they're in your business. But this way you can cater it just to those people. And so now they're seeing, oh, like they're a lead of yours, right? So you've already talked to them and they're like, wow, their body looks great. How are they losing so much weight in quarantine? How are they taking this trip? Like, how do they have so much time to spend cuddling their dog? Guys, this is an invaluable tool that you can use on Facebook. And I'm so excited that I learned about this. You can then, because while you're not directly selling to them, selling without selling is kind of the new trend. I've seen this a lot on TikTok with products. You don't want someone to slap you in the face and be like, buy my bracelet or, buy my whatever, buy my dog collars or my kitty chow, whatever it is that you're selling. You don't want to constantly sell. But if you're sharing your wins, you garner people's curiosity, which is one of the key aspects. Now, I'm not a network marketer, but I've grown up around them. It's one of the key aspects of network marketing is having people be curious and want to do what it is you're doing. And this is a fantastic way to share that with people.
Avery, that's so good. And you can see everyone is like, oh my gosh, that is such a great tip. And I want all of you to think about too, when you have a client that has had a success story, ask them to create a video for you and being able to post other people's videos. And it's huge. Now, Alette asked me, and it's so funny. There are people out there who don't want to give you their insider secrets. I have such an abundant mindset. I will give you an insider secret. So for a year, I looked at all of the people posting caption videos and what, they were doing. And I would reach out to people. I'd say, what are you using? And people just wouldn't tell me. I will tell you. So one of the tools we use is something called Headliner. So Headliner will allow you to caption the videos. It is a paid service, and it was originally started for podcasters where you could take podcast snippets and redeploy them, because that way people like a little sizzle of it, and then they decide if they're going to listen to the whole thing. So I'll just share with you how we redeploy content for my brand, because it's just a time-saving technique. And you know, some of you asked me what time I go to bed. Last night I went to bed at 7:50. I watched the debate, and then I was like, I'm going to bed. So I tucked the kids in and I went to bed, and I got up at 3:50 and I'm on fire. I got 90 minutes of exercise, you know, did a whole bunch of stuff. So anyway, to answer that question, but going back to redeploying content. So we're going to go, you know, in our mastermind, we're going to talk about this a lot. And we're going to teach you how to do it, but I'll just share with you very, very, very quickly. So what you do, yes, Susan, 100% you can, but I'm going to take your brand to the next level, girlfriend. All right, so here's how we do it. There's no sacred cows. This is how we do it. The first, when I'm recording an interview, and some of our more successful clients, I've interviewed people like Dave Asprey, Jesse Itzler, a whole bunch of people. When Jessica took her book to #1 on Amazon without spending a penny, I did an interview with her. So what we do, we interview with Zoom. And then now I have a full-time person that does video for me now, but for a long time I didn't, but I do now, but I'll share with you what the process goes through. So we take that video, he turns it into something applicable for YouTube. That's where Susan, it's the split screen, it's the caption, it kind of looks news style. I just love the look and feel of what we're doing over there. Then I have a team member that turns it into a podcast. They put our intro on it, they put our outro on it. I have another team member, they run it through Headliner. Headliner is so simple, I can do it. And that says a lot. If I can do it, you all can do it. So we put it in Headliner. You get a caption of it. You can put it in IGTV format, so it has to be over 1:06. You can put it in a Reels format, so it has to be under a minute for Instagram. And then it's all captioned. It's good to go. You can take a snippet of the audio, you can turn it into a headliner. And so one of the things that, you know, you look at is just challenging yourself to create one great piece of content a week that you can redeploy in terms of multiple ways. So as an example, many of you know Kathy Coover. So Kathy reached out to me. Her book is going out on Instagram, and I want to help her take it to #1, or on Amazon rather. I want to help her take it to #1. And she asked some people if they could interview her in a live. And I said, Kathy, we're going to do better than a live. We're going to record on Zoom. We're going to put you up on YouTube. We are going to put you up on Spotify. We're going to put you up on iTunes. I'm going to put you up on LinkedIn. I'm going to put you up on Facebook and Instagram. And she's like, wow. And I said, yeah, but we're going to record one time for 20 minutes and we're going to redeploy across all those different platforms, right? So that interview I'm doing tomorrow, and then we'll put it up on all the platforms on the day her book is going live next week. And I hope you'll all buy it. It's awesome. Resilient, it's called. So what I want you to begin to think about is carving out time once a week to create some epic content. Okay. And so again, you're not always going to feel like it, and you've got to be highly organized, right? But yeah, Alette, you are very welcome, hun. I know it was the same thing. And, you know, Avery and I'm so excited that Avery's come to work at the agency full time. We want you to be successful. We want you to go crush it in your different areas. And so we have nothing to hide. And that's why these live coaching sessions are, you know, we're happy to open our playbook. And you're going to see some other things. I know, Avery, you want to jump in. I'm just going to share this. Some other things I'm going to be doing with the content. So if you watch my Instagram, you will see that we're deploying a lot more video content on Instagram, because what's happening on Instagram is videos are stopping the scroll, and they have to be captioned because almost 100% of the videos are watched without sound. And so if Grant Cardone does a video, it'll say original sound. He won't get as many people watching it and stopping the scroll as someone like Gary Vee, who captions all of his videos. So watch my Instagram closely, because you're seeing now more and more and more content that we're putting out. It's very rare I put out something with just original sound. So Avery, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. So as my mom was saying, I'm gonna lower my hand here. As my mom was saying, cut out some time to make content. I'm gonna give you guys some fast and furious tips for making content, because I know that a lot of people may be a little bit daunted about this subject, but guys, it's super easy. Everyone here, I'm guessing, has a phone, and a lot of you, I'm assuming, also have a phone that has a camera. If you still have a brick phone or a car phone, I may not be able to help you, but you know, I'll keep you in my prayers. No, I'm kidding. So everyone has a phone. Guys, you don't need a professional camera to make professional content. I take all of my photos, all of my videos. Sorry, my case is very loud. I take all of them on my phone. It doesn't even have to be the newest iPhone. Before this, I had an iPhone 7. I was still creating a lot of content on there. So I'll give you guys a couple tips. If you post a lot of selfies, here is the secret sauce to taking a beautiful selfie. I'm sorry if you have an Android, but this is an iPhone only tip for now. I'm going to learn the Android ways, but for now, I know a lot of you guys have iPhones. If you have the iPhone that has the portrait mode capability on the front camera, which a lot of them do, I think it's 8 and above, you'll just have to check. Go in front of a window, hold up your phone, put it on portrait mode, and put it on the natural light setting. You will look like a queen or a king every time. This is how I take a lot of my photos. I even use like self timer. If you're more comfortable, if you're not comfortable with like people taking photos of you, just prop up your phone. Like I've taken photos, I've propped my phone up on my cat even to take selfies. Like it's shameless, it's bad, but there's so many ways to create content. If you're alone, if you're, you know, isolated, if you're not around a lot of people, guys, don't use these excuses. Every time you make an excuse about content, I shed a tear. We don't want that, okay? We don't want me to cry, because I'll send you a selfie, a beautiful selfie of me, but I will have tears in my eyes, and you won't like that, and neither will I. So yes, that's one way that you can create content. Another way is that if you're taking product photos, just always find natural light. A window is a beautiful tool. Like honestly, I take product photos sometimes, and for a client, and I will just put my back to a window and hold the product in front of me and take photos like that. Because even if you're not taking the time to go and edit all these photos, natural light will just make it beautiful. Another quick tip, I always forget this, but my friend Jeffrey from Chair Garage reminded me, always wipe off the lenses on your camera. You never know how smudgy they may get. And my last tip is, again, going back to what my mom said, cut out some time for some content. Now, this is my golden tip for everybody. Guys, I post on my Instagram, I post photos that I took months ago. And the thing is that I mean, I don't look much different now than I did then, or maybe my hair will change, but nobody's noticing on Instagram. Unless I have like a dramatic like bob or something like that and a big change. Okay, but that's off the point. The point is that if you don't want to take photos every day, or if you're already, like, for example, I put on makeup to do this. So now if I was in the position where I'm doing Instagram for my business and I'm the face of that brand, I might go take some pictures now to take advantage of the fact that I have makeup on, that I'm looking good, I'm feeling good. On those days when you feel good, guys, take advantage of it. You will not look like a fool if you do outfit changes and you're taking the most advantage possible out of this like feel good time. If you wake up and you're like, yeah, I look like a beautiful king or queen today, I'm like owning it. take advantage of that time and create a bunch of content. Save it in a special folder on your phone so you have that for a rainy day when you don't have content. That's my biggest tip for you guys. If you're having a good hair day, if your eyebrows look on fleek, whatever it is, take advantage of those little moments and stockpile some content for the future so that when you're really busy and you're grinding and you have a million sales calls, you have content to post as well.
Thank you, Avery. And we're almost at the top of the hour. So I want to ask a question. Who got at least one thing that they can apply to their business in today's live coaching? Just say yes in the chat. Awesome. All right, in a minute, we're gonna give away some Amazon gift cards, so it's gonna be fun. I said to our team, I'm like, I wanna give away something to people who show up live, because it's, why not? It's a lot of fun. So we're gonna give those away. I just wanna ask you guys just to take a little self-audit for a moment. So I'm gonna get a little serious, all right? So here we are, and we've got 12 weeks and a day until the end of the year. 12 weeks and a day. And I want you to think about maybe some goals that you have set for yourself in January. And are you where you wanted to be? Are you where you wanted to be financially? Are you where you wanted to be with your business? Are you where you wanted to be with your health? And if the answer is no, I want to ask you, if you allowed your excuses to be bigger than your reasons. And I want to pause for a minute. Are your excuses bigger than your reasons? Because there's been a lot of opportunity to have excuses this year. There really have been. And some of us have just had to work harder because it's a pandemic. Some of us have had to pivot. Some of us, as a speaker, my speaking income this year was zero, but I did a lot of speaking for free. When Forbes said, hey, will you speak in a virtual CEO summit? We're not paying you. I'm like, yes, Forbes, I'll speak for you. Why not? Right? And so we've had to pivot and adapt. And so, I want to ask you that question. And thinking about that and thinking about it very deeply, what is it you need in order to make the last quarter of the year productive and for you to finish this year feeling fulfilled? What is it you need? And I would say, if you're not where you want to be, you need three things. One is you need a mentor. Okay, someone who has transitioned the odds and walked the walk. And number two, you need to surround yourself with people who are going for it, who are curious, who are ambitious. And the third thing is you need the skills. And the fundamental thing I'll say is that JJ Burden quoted me at UME, the number one enemy of success is lack of organization. So if you want to finish the year strong, I have my 6-week program and it's live and I will kick your ass. I will. And the price is going up on Sunday. And so it starts next Tuesday and I will help you get to where you want to be. But if you're not where you want to be and your excuses are bigger than your reasons, then you are the first person that needs to sign up for this course. And it is different than the organizational stuff I've taught before. Some of the tenets are the same, but the how-tos have changed. All right, so with that, go and take advantage, because if you procrastinate and you do it Monday, you're gonna pay more money. You're gonna pay $247 instead of $197. So with that, Avery, we are gonna give away some Amazon gift cards. Are you ready?
I'm ready, always.
All right. I think we need a quiz question.
Let me think of one. I want to think of a good one. See, something I've noticed, actually, speaking to your point, is that about, are your excuses bigger than the other thing? I just lost. I'm sorry, guys. I haven't had coffee in like 6 days, so you'll have to excuse me. But I find that a lot, especially on social media and with people, they let their excuses about social, oh, they're too young. Oh, I can't make content. Oh, you know, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I only have 50 followers. Like, I see that a lot. So I kind of want to be a little bit of a trickster and ask a social media question.
Okay.
Let me think about it.
We have to be rapid fire because we're at the top of the hour. All right. So my first question is, I mentioned an app and Avery mentioned an app. Who can name both the apps we mentioned? Go. First person, both in one.
InShot and Headliner.
All right, Malika, high five. Woo! All right.
Do it.
You are getting the first one. And so, Malika, what I want you to do is you're going to email info@susansly.com. Okay. We're going to give away another one. Okay. Avery, do you have your question?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. My question is, where can you get your information about your Instagram and what do you need-
Insights.
Analytics.
Analytics.
What do you need to get there? I wasn't done the question yet. I love you guys, but what do you need to get access to that?
You need to be a business account.
Business account.
Business account.
Oh gosh, I don't even know who went first.
You need to be a business account.
Who won that one?
Michelle M. Her voice was loud and clear, and her yellow was first.
All right, let's do it. Michelle, congratulations. Do the same thing, info@susansly.com. Was that it?
Okay, we have one more to go. I'm going to make this one a hard one. All right. You guys ready? Who's ready? I know you're like,
Ready?
okay.
Yep.
It is going to be the first person who can grab the link from the article I spoke about at the beginning of the class and put it in the chat.
Oh my God.
You have to put it in the chat. Who's the first person that can grab it?
I love watching everyone look for it.
Oh, no, that's not it. Alette got it. Yes.
Yay.
All right. You guys are amazing. Thank you. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. This has been live coaching. Hopefully you all got value. Some of you might say it was worth the price of admission. But Avery and I are here to serve and to help all of you. And it is a way we give back to the community. We do live coaching every single month. If you're working with me in OI, I will see you on Tuesday. And if you are in our mastermind group, I will see you next Thursday where we start intensive Instagram training. So with that, God bless. You guys are amazing. Rock your day in Canada.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank you,
Thanksgiving.
Susan. Thank you, Avery. Peace out. You guys are awesome.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.